The beauty of perspective. When you have lived 7, 8, 9 decades or more, you develop what I call the long view. You have seen trends come and go, watched young people make mistakes you once made, and witnessed how problems that seemed insurmountable at the time eventually found their resolution. This perspective is not cynicism. It is wisdom seasoned with compassion. You know that this too shall pass, because you have seen it pass before. You know that most of what people worry about will not matter in 5 years because you have lived through enough 5-year periods to recognize the difference between what is urgent and what is important. This perspective is a gift, not just to ourselves, but to everyone around us who is still caught up in the immediate drama of their daily lives. I remember my grandmother telling me during one of my young adult crises, "Honey, I have buried 3 husbands and survived the depression. This problem of yours, it is going to work out just fine." At the time, I thought she was dismissing my concerns. Now I understand she was offering me the most precious gift she had, the perspective that comes from having weathered many storms and emerged with faith intact, the beauty of authenticity. There is something liberating about reaching an age where pretending becomes too exhausting to maintain. We have tried on so many versions of ourselves over the years. The people we thought we should be, the people others wanted us to be, the people we aspired to become. By now, we have discovered which parts were genuine and which were costume. This authenticity is beautiful. It shows up in the way we speak our minds more freely, love more openly, and worry less about what others think. We have learned that life is too short to waste on relationships that drain us, activities that bore us, or versions of ourselves that do not fit. I think of my friend Margaret, who at 75 decided to take up painting. Not because she was particularly talented, but because she had always wanted to. Her paintings are not museum-worthy, but watching her face light up as she describes the way morning light hits her garden is worth more than any masterpiece. She is authentic in her joy, unashamed of being a beginner, unconcerned with judgment. This is the beauty of our age. We can pursue what feeds our souls without needing to justify it to anyone. The beauty of deep relationships. Young people often confuse intensity with depth, but we know the difference. We have had decades to cultivate relationships that have weathered disagreements, survived misunderstandings, and deepened through shared sorrows and joys. The friendships we maintain now have been tested by time and proven their worth. There is something profoundly beautiful about a friendship that spans 50 years, about knowing someone so well that you can communicate with a glance, about having shared history that no one else understands. These relationships are like fine wine. They have developed complexity and richness that can only come with age. And let us talk about the relationships with our adult children and grandchildren. Yes, they may see us as old, but they also come to us for wisdom, for stories, for the kind of unconditional love that only grandparents can provide. We get to love these young people without the daily stress of raising them, to share our knowledge without the burden of discipline, to spoil them in ways we could not spoil our own children when we were stretched thin with responsibility. The beauty of slowing down. Our culture celebrates speed and productivity, but there is profound beauty in the slower pace that often comes with age. We notice things that busy people miss. The way light changes throughout the day, the sound of birds outside our window, the subtle changes in our garden from week to week. This slowing down is not a loss. It is a return to mindfulness that many younger people pay good money to learn in meditation classes. We have earned the right to savor our morning coffee, to read the newspaper thoroughly, to have conversations that are not interrupted by the urgent demands of career and child rearing. I remember rushing through so many years, always focused on the next goal, the next milestone. Now I understand that life is not a race to be won, but a story to be savored. Every wrinkle on my face represents a laugh shared, a worry survived, a tear shed for someone loved. These are not flaws to be hidden. They are evidence of a life fully engaged. The beauty of resilience. Look around this room. Look at the faces here. Do you know what I see? I see survivors. I see people who have buried loved ones and learned to carry on. I see people who have faced illness, financial hardship, disappointment, and loss. Yet, here you sit. You have adapted to changes you never expected, learned skills you never thought you would need, and found strength you did not know you possessed. This resilience is beautiful. It shows in the set of your shoulders, the determination in your eyes, the way you have learned to find joy even in difficult circumstances. You have discovered that you are more flexible than you thought, more resourceful than you imagined, more capable of reinventing yourself than anyone told you was possible. My neighbor Eleanor lost her husband of 52 years last spring. I watched her work through her grief, and I watched her slowly begin to rebuild a life she had never imagined living alone. She learned to manage finances she had never handled, made decisions she had always deferred, and gradually created new routines and new connections. At 79, she is becoming someone she has never been before. That is not tragedy. That is the remarkable adaptability of the human spirit in its mature years. The beauty of freedom. There is a unique freedom that comes with age. We are free from many of the expectations and obligations that constrained our younger years. We are free from the need to build our careers, free from the daily demands of child rearing, free from many of the social pressures that once seemed so important. This freedom means we can choose how to spend our time based on what truly matters to us. We can volunteer for causes we care about, pursue interests we never had time for, travel to places we always wanted to see, or simply enjoy the luxury of an unscheduled day. But perhaps the greatest freedom is the freedom from the opinions of others. We have learned that we cannot control what people think of us, and frankly, we have grown tired of trying. This liberation allows us to dress for comfort rather than fashion, to speak our truths rather than what people want to hear, to make choices based on our own values rather than external expectations. The beauty of gratitude. When you have lived long enough to know that nothing lasts forever, you develop a deeper appreciation for what you have while you have it. The simple pleasures that young people take for granted. A good night's sleep, a day without pain, a phone call from a friend become sources of genuine joy. This gratitude is not naive optimism. It is the wisdom that comes from understanding the preciousness of ordinary moments. We know that health is not permanent, that relationships are fragile, that life itself is temporary. This knowledge, rather than making us morbid, makes us more appreciative of each day we are given. I wake up grateful for my morning cup of tea, grateful for eyes that can still read, grateful for a mind that still remembers. These are not small things. They are everything. The beauty of legacy. As we age, we become increasingly aware of the legacy we are creating, not just in terms of material possessions, but in the impact we have had on others. We see our values reflected in our children, our wisdom passed on to our grandchildren, our influence rippling out through the lives we have touched. There is profound beauty in recognizing that we have made a difference, that our lives have mattered, that the world is somehow better because we have been here. This is not about grand gestures or fame. It is about the teacher who inspired a love of learning, the parent who raised children with strong values, the friend who offered comfort in times of need, the neighbor who kept watch over the community. The beauty of acceptance. Perhaps the most beautiful thing about aging gracefully is learning to accept ourselves as we are. We have spent so many years fighting ourselves, wishing we were taller, shorter, thinner, more successful, more attractive, more talented. By now, we have grown tired of that battle, and we have discovered the peace that comes with self-acceptance. This does not mean we have given up on improvement or growth. It means we have stopped basing our worth on external validation and started finding it in our inherent value as human beings who have loved and been loved, who have contributed something to the world, who have experienced the full range of human emotions and experiences. Redefining beauty. Let me challenge you to think differently about beauty. Real beauty is not about smooth skin or perfect bodies. Real beauty is about the light in someone's eyes when they talk about something they love. It is about the gentle way hands that have worked hard for decades now hold a grandchild. It is about the wisdom lines that come from a lifetime of smiling, even through tears. Real beauty is about the grace with which someone handles loss, the dignity with which they face challenges, the generosity with which they share their wisdom with younger generations. It is about the peace that comes from having nothing left to prove and everything to appreciate. The challenge of our time. I want to acknowledge that aging gracefully in our current culture is not easy. We live in a society that worships youth and treats aging as a disease to be cured rather than a natural process to be honored. We are bombarded with messages that tell us we should be fighting time rather than flowing with it. But I want to suggest that we have a responsibility to change this narrative. We need to model for younger generations that aging can be beautiful, that there are seasons of life beyond youth that are rich and meaningful and worthy of celebration. When we hide our age, dye our grey hair, or apologize for our wrinkles, we are contributing to the problem. When we act ashamed of our years, or try to pretend we are younger than we are telling the world that age is something to be ashamed of. Instead, let us be proud of our years. Let us wear our experiences like badges of honor. Let us show the world that there is beauty in silver hair that reflects the light of wisdom, in hands that show the evidence of useful work, in faces that tell the story of lives fully lived. Moving forward with grace. So, how do we age gracefully? It starts with changing our own attitudes about aging. Instead of seeing each year as a loss, we can see it as an addition to our store of wisdom and experience. Instead of mourning our younger selves, we can celebrate who we have become. It means taking care of ourselves, not to look younger, but to feel our best at whatever age we are. It means staying engaged with life, continuing to learn and grow, maintaining connections with others, and finding ways to contribute to the world around us. It means being honest about the challenges of aging while refusing to let them define us. Yes, our bodies change, our energy levels shift, our social circles may shrink. But within these changes, there are opportunities for new kinds of beauty, new forms of wisdom, new ways of connecting with others. The gift we offer. I want to close by reminding you of something important. Your presence in this world matters. Your perspective is valuable. Your experience is needed. The young people in your life need to see examples of aging done well, of people who embrace their years with dignity and grace. You are living proof that life does not end at 40 or 50 or 60. You demonstrate daily that there are seasons of life beyond youth that are rich with possibility. When you laugh despite your challenges, when you love despite your losses, when you continue to hope despite your disappointments, you are teaching everyone around you about the remarkable resilience of the human spirit. Your wrinkles are beautiful because they are evidence of emotions fully felt. Your grey hair is beautiful because it reflects the light of wisdom earned. Your slower pace is beautiful because it allows you to notice things that busy people miss. Your perspective is beautiful because it has been earned through decades of experience. The beauty of aging gracefully is not about looking young. It is about looking like yourself, fully, authentically, unapologetically yourself. It is about carrying yourself with the dignity that comes from a life well lived, the wisdom that comes from lessons learned, the peace that comes from battles fought and won. You are beautiful, not in spite of your age, but because of it. You are beautiful because you have survived, because you have loved, because you have learned, because you have grown. You are beautiful because you are here, still engaged with life, still contributing to the world, still showing up despite everything you have been through. This is the beauty of aging gracefully. Not the absence of lines and changes, but the presence of wisdom, grace, and an appreciation for life that can only come with time. Embrace it, celebrate it, share it with the world. Thank you.